Just waiting for some people. Hey, King Devon. Hey, Sophia. Wait for a bit more people to get in. I can see why you're saying that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll wait just like a few minutes here for a few extra people, and then we'll start getting started on opinions and everything. Uh, yeah. Yeah, it was. It's for this. All right here. I shave every 2 days. I'm not really a face hair person. Yeah, she really did. And I could so tell that she wrote it too. It's so obvious. uh yeah. Crazy how it's only 2 more episodes. Yeah, it is. It really is. I don't know. It's looking like you two might be the only ones in here. King of Portals hit me up before I even did the stream, like an hour, like right when we were taking my brother home, and he said he got work until 6 o'clock, and he won't be on until after. I thought he'd be one of the first ones on, but if he ain't on, he ain't on. It's not that big a deal. It's just I thought he'd be. Yeah, I'm just not really a facial hair person. Kind of used to be, and then when I started, I used a house held shaver um for over 2 years. Uh and then eventually it just got too irritating. It hurt too much. And then I left it, but my work required shave. So I went and bought myself an electric shaver. So now my face feels much more smooth whenever I shave it, and it's much more easier to use and it doesn't hurt. I don't want to get into my personal life too much. Yeah, they do. They do. I still remember when I was freaking 6 years old. Okay. People just have good memories, some more than others. All right, we'll give it another few minutes here, and then we're going to go ahead and get started because it is late. It is the after stream, and I'm very anxious to see people's opinions on this episode, especially, and talk about the preview of the next one because there's something really interesting that I want to talk about regarding the preview. And I think both of you know why I have Rick and Carl in this picture specifically. But we'll give it another few minutes and then we'll get into it. The old pictures of me when I was poor camera quality. Nostalgia. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I figured anyone with a freaking brain could and watch the episode, they know why I did this. I make it pretty obvious. Like with the Shane and Pearl picture, that should have been a dead giveaway as to what that episode entailed. Like the key moment. Yeah, my little sister is actually a nuisance. All right, I think we're gonna get started. So, you guys, like always, you guys get the first crack at your opinions on the episode, like always, since we started the ones who live before and after streams. So you guys get first crack. What were your guys' opinions on the episode? I'll let you guys talk first. Because I go very in-depth when I talk, as you guys know, and it's best to get other people out of the way so that way I can go ahead, not cut people off. Just sounds more right. Yeah, and that is pretty funny, too. Oh my god. No. Mm-mm. Yeah, that's just way too silly for me to do. I thought this episode was really good. It started off slow, which I expected. I was curious on who the house belonged to, either the CRM or just another group trying to survive. Yeah, I thought episode 4 was amazing. So many shocking twists and turns. Michonne stole the spotlight, but Rick had some great moments and both had so much chemistry. Yeah, they did, but considering Michonne's actor wrote the episode, it was going to be a pretty much like uh I'll get more into, like I said, whenever you guys I want to hear your thoughts specifically. Then Michonne revealing Rick had another son. I knew they were going to do it eventually. It caught me off guard with her saying it soon, but you can tell she didn't mean to say it. She was trying to motivate him to go back to Alexandria. Mm-hmm. That death is a huge motivator. I knew she was going to bring it up eventually, and she almost did whenever she got into the CRM. But she wanted to wait. Rick almost forced her. I'm glad they didn't kill Rick or Michonne here. They wouldn't kill either one of them before the end of the series. That much I can promise you. If they're going to kill one of them somehow, some way, God forbid, seriously, they're going to do it at the end. I was nervous in the second half of the season they'd kill either of them. One might assume such. You can tell Rick was going through extreme inner conflict on if he should go back or not. It's like he didn't want to know about RJ because it would make him want to go. Thorne kind of deserves it, though, for trying to kill Michonne. Yeah, definitely a Shane moment. Rick is definitely going to go back for RJ. I hope we see more Jadis. I want to see Jadis destroy Alexandria when they get back. Dang. I wish we had more CRM besides the helicopter coming to blow up the other one. But this episode needed to focus more on Michonne and Rick. Yeah, it did. Me too. Then Rick saying how he wants her to go so he doesn't have to see himself lose her broke my heart. Yeah, Rick really delved deep. Yeah. The dialogue is far better than anything we got season 8 onwards. Yeah, it is. Then him explaining how losing his memory of Carl and then Michonne bringing out the phone is what I think finally motivated Rick to move forward. I didn't realize how much I missed Rick and Michonne until this episode. It's so hard. They might be. Who do you think will die in later episodes? I'm obviously going to kick Rick and Michonne out of the equation because it's about them. Why would you want to kill them? But I'd have to say Jadis or Pearl or maybe the entire freaking CRM. I really don't know. But Jadis and Pearl specifically. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Anyways, but I'll go back later and watch. Hey, Slick. Yeah. So, Slick, what were your thoughts on the episode? Nat didn't deserve it. I really wish some of Michonne's group lived, but I know there had to be deaths. Later seasons of The Walking Dead lacked major deaths, so it had to happen to keep us interested. Nat would be proud of Michonne for saving Rick and escaping like this. Yeah, he most likely would. All right, well, Slick says his thoughts and everything, and anybody else who's joined, I'm going to get into mine. Okay. So, as the 4th episode, I think it did really well. It's actually really surprised me because I've never seen actors in any show or movie thing or paid attention to the fact that actors can write the episodes also. So to hear that Michonne's actor Denai Garcia wrote the freaking episode, that was freaking awesome. And it definitely showed whenever the episode began. And the fact that Michonne was boss enough to just push them both out of the helicopter, and it ultimately saved their lives from getting plowed into that building and ultimately almost nuked by that freaking helicopter who came in later. And to see Michonne utterly tear into Rick, on one hand, I should have been a little bit more emotional with that, but it did spoil us saying that once the ones who live started, there would be conflict whenever they came and reunited with each other. And the acting was so on point. AMC has done better with the ones who live in 6 years ever since it started. The most viewership in 6 years. And it shows with this episode. And I guarantee you, Rick and Michonne's actors, they don't get enough credit for doing this. Not even now. I guarantee you. It definitely showed. And I love how annoyed Rick got with the freaking AI built freaking house and everything. He's like, where is that thing? I absolutely freaking got a kick out of that moment. He was getting so mad over it too. And he didn't even know what a robot was. That just goes to show you how freaking like Atlanta Rick Grimes was, that he didn't even know about a robot. I guarantee you Shane knew about a robot. But those two parts were just funny to me. And Michonne, we see her get to wield a freaking lamp stick, and the way she was wielding it, tell me that did not remind you of Morgan's bow staff. She was literally swinging it and using it the same way he did. And if you literally play back clips of Morgan using his stick and Michonne using the freaking lampshade thing, yeah, it was pretty much a freaking ripoff of Morgan. I didn't know Michonne knew Aikido, but that was pretty freaking cool too. And mentioning RJ, I definitely knew that was going to happen, either in this episode or no, not even next episode. It had to happen. Yeah, it definitely had to happen for Rick to finally get the sense knocked back into him. But wait, it didn't. And even after Michonne offered multiple things, and they would possibly think that they were dead in that copter, even if the other copter came back and shot at them, and they likely do still think that they're dead. By blowing up the helicopter and everything. Maybe Jadis is the only one, and maybe Thorne, who think that they're still alive. But other than that, I think the CRM pretty much knows that they're dead or thinks that they're dead. I mean, you gotta think about the way that it was set up. And what else? And even after all that, and Michonne's putting multiple things in place, saying that you can go home now. We literally have an opening to go home. And even after all that, Rick didn't want to go. And I knew that he was hiding something. I knew that there was something that he was holding back. But for them to be fighting constantly throughout the episode and everything, and Rick's like, "Commando, really?" Rick's sarcasm, man. And the way that him and Michonne were talking, it was freaking funny, but also sad to see them fight. But when they got back into the fold and they actually, had a love session, let's just leave it at that. And finally got back into the fold of, like, not loving each other, but listening to each other. Michonne finally snapping reality back into Rick, and we finally get the reason why Rick stopped and why he truly, truly wanted to stay. Because he stopped dreaming about them. After so many failed attempts of escaping, cutting his arm off, and just not getting anywhere, it wasn't that Jadis would destroy Alexandria. Because Michonne offered a solution: destroy the evidence and kill her. That's it. It wasn't that. It was, he stopped dreaming of them. He stopped dreaming of Carl, and he was just gone, which is why the picture's here, because that was a really sad moment to see Rick break down like that. And he stopped dreaming of Michonne. He didn't want to stay because he just didn't want to see her die and him lose himself, possibly worse than Lori. It was because he stopped dreaming about them, and he doesn't want to experience a reality where he doesn't have whatever family he has left. And Carl's probably the main reason why he stopped trying to escape and everything. And that's really sad. And to see Michonne show the picture of Carl and him see that two flashbacks of Carl and everything, especially from Alexandria, it was a really heart-breaking moment. It really touched me. I didn't cry or anything. The only time that I cried in The Walking Dead was Carl's death a little bit, Rick blowing up the bridge, and Rosita's death. Those are the only 3 times in The Walking Dead that I've cried. But to see him finally snap back into the Rick we know and love just from a picture of Carl that the guy drew, and Michonne finally snapped the sense back into Rick. I knew that would happen. See, my estimation wasn't off. Once again, I estimated correctly, which I've been doing really good with these past few episodes since the start. I knew that Michonne would finally talk some sense back into Rick, but I didn't know that he would just disown the fact that he had a kid until later, when he obviously cared more to ask. And, they made up and everything. I'm glad that they finally got out and they're driving away. So the next 2 episodes should feature them escaping and finally maybe an end result with the CRM. And that's my opinion. I think I pretty much covered all of it, right? Don't get me wrong. I was upset when plenty of great characters like Glenn died. Oh, there is one more moment that I did cry. Whenever Maggie was talking about Glenn in the finale, that's when I cried for Glenn. Because of how heartfelt Maggie had that talk with Negan. and how Negan was so touched by like how much he took from Maggie. And that he really didn't want to kill Glenn. It was his mindset and the fact that Daryl is the one who punched him. But it was more or less Negan's mindset that drove him to want to kill Glenn. Yep. At least season 2 is finally going to redeem Maggie and make her save Negan. And they're finally going to get along. They should have done that from the start. But I think Herschel getting kidnapped just set Maggie off. It just made her forget everything and just see a monster that she was willing to trade just to get her kid back. But then the kid ended up losing a toe. And freaking Maggie ended up changing her mind anyway. All the episodes are a 10 out of 10. The person is freaking Rick and Michonne. All the episodes are 10 out of 10. I haven't even watched the other 2 yet. Why do I rate them all 10 out of 10? It's Rick and Michonne. And it just deserves the credit that I'm giving it. I definitely feel that it deserves it. Definitely. We've gotten a lot of CRM, though, the past 3 episodes. King. We've gotten a lot. Maybe not enough to some people, but a lot. Okay. So, we already talked about opinions. I went over mine. You guys went over yours. So, what do you guys want to happen in the 5th episode? What are your expectations and what do you want to happen? That's the next question. Yeah, most likely. If they don't kill her, there better be a dang good reason. Or if they do kill her, there still has to be a good reason. Who knows? I'm not going to say anything if it's not set in stone. There's not enough to work off of yet. And I'm an analyst, so I analyze. If there's nothing to work off of, I don't know. I can just estimate. Which is basically what the entirety of my channel is about, estimating fictional scenarios. I don't know why I'm explaining that, but yeah. I want in the 5th episode, I would want them to get back to Alexandria, but I know it won't be that easy. So they'll probably run into Thorn or Jadis. I want in the 5th episode for the CRM to search for them, specifically Jadis or Thorn. Oh, you both said that. That's kind of it's kind of funny. I want to see a Shane flashback. Man, people are talking about that like crazy. I mean, hey, I don't blame you. I kind of want to see it too. I want Heath and Thorn to lead a group of CRM soldiers to hunt down Rick and Michonne. Rick will kill Heath here in a brutal fight to the death. Michonne and Thorn will fight, but Thorn will survive. Why would they bring Heath back as an enemy, though? We haven't even seen him yet. And that would just be a Morales move all over again. I don't want them to do that. If they're going to bring Heath back, I want them to either show him as a test subject or a good guy. I don't want Heath to be a bad guy. Heck, I was even surprised when Morales was a bad guy. And he just died an episode later after his reintroduction to the franchise. Sad. Dudes like that have way more potential than you give them. Rick will be separated from Michonne and will get brutally wounded, so he'll hallucinate characters who have died, like Shane, Carl, Glenn. Wouldn't that be a ripoff of the season 9 bridge scene, though? Yeah, the way you're wording, it kind of sounds like the bridge scene. I mean, hey, we don't know what's gonna happen yet, so I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I'm just saying that would be kind of a ripoff. It would be way cooler if Heath is alive, but most likely might be a B. I would hope that he's a B. Oh, you meant an A. Well, whether he shows up as an A or a B or not, I just want him. I want finally for us to see him, because we've heard about what happened with him. Yes, I do. Because we already know what happened to him, and he was traded to the CRM, and we've literally been told by people. And I think the writers even confirmed that we were finally going to get, like, what happened to Heath. In what universe would that work? YouTube apology? Really? I'm not going to outright call you out on that one, but don't you think that's a little bit silly? Too silly. Maybe Heath will fight Rick and wound him severely. Rick will experience flashbacks afterwards while escaping. Heath will catch up to Rick and spare him. Heath will join Rick and Michonne escaping. Morgan might show up in the finale with Mo and save Rick and Michonne. Dude, that would be freaking awesome. And Morgan's been teased. Literally, Michonne was wielding the freaking lamp stick like Aikido. And we've already seen Morgan's Aikido book in Morgan's list of books. If we don't see Morgan in this freaking spinoff, it's a ripoff. I like how I did the spinoff and ripoff, even though they don't rhyme, but still, I liked how I worded that. How do you think Rick and Michonne will interact with the Commonwealth when they get back? Both of them don't know of its existence. I don't know. Especially since we don't know how much time has passed since he left Fear. I'd think around the same amount of time. Like, I think he'd just be meeting with Rick, like, right when him and Michonne finally meet each other. I always had this far-fetched idea that Jim from season 1 was with the CRM, since we never explicitly see a body. But he got bit, so he's dead. You can't bring him back from that. And people have teased that the body that Carl and Herschel saw in season 4 was Jim's body. Thorne will fight Michonne, distracting and separate her from Rick and Heath. Thorne will almost kill Michonne, but will get injured and be forced to flee. Jadis will then get involved. Unless he got cured, LOL. Jim is a walker for sure. Yeah, most definitely. If you have a theory or something, you need facts to support it. And Jim is most definitely dead. And bringing him back to the story, it wouldn't do anything besides maybe make Rick remember more of his past. But it wouldn't do anything to the story. Jim is not that important of a character. Jim is definitely dead. That's like saying Glenn didn't really die, and that was his twin who Negan killed. Thank you. I think a flashback to Jim is the most likely scenario, but he had so little impact on Rick and Michonne never met him, so I don't think he's coming back. Yeah, exactly. So everyone go over their thoughts for the next episode. I'm gonna state mine real quick. Okay, so in the preview, this is the main thing that I want to touch upon real quick. I want to see if I can pull up the picture. I don't know if it will actually show it. Ones Who Live, episode 5, preview, giant walker. Where is it? Come on. Please tell me it's here. Please tell me it's here. God dang it! I don't think I'm going to be able to save it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The walker in the previews? That giant one? With the vest? Or do I need to pull it up? I could screenshot it and then make it away like that way. But I feel like screenshotting and showing you fully what I'm talking about would be better than me just telling you about a giant walker. No. Okay. No. This is something else. There's something very specific that I want you guys to pay attention to. All right? Okay. So I'm going to upload this to my photos, and then I'm going to pull it up here on the thing. And I want you guys to pay close attention to this, all right? Because we need to figure this out together. And I feel that this is very important. It's a very important theory that I want to run by people. Okay. I'm going to download it here, and then we're going to pull it up here on the screen. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this like in depth, depending on how the quality is, but you guys are definitely going to want to pay attention to this. All right, check this out. I'm going to move my head, and I want you guys to take a look. Forgive my head if it's glitchy, but you guys really need to take a look at this. Maybe if I move my head the other way, you could see my head more clearly, but still get a good look at the picture. Okay, that is good. Okay, so I bet you guys are wondering who that looks like and why I am showing it. Because I have a big theory. Don't quote me on this, okay? Don't quote me on this. But I have a theory, if you watch the preview carefully, on who this is, okay? Now hear me out here. This is not confirmed, but it's a very good theory if you pay attention to the preview, all right? So in the preview, first 2 seconds, we see a walker, or what appears to be a walker, in a vest. Now, hold on before you get into anything big. It's in a vest, and then we get a shot of it again 8 seconds in. Now, look at the top of his head also. It has long hair and a kind of forward-like head. Now, I'm going to give you 3 guesses as to who would look like that. No, I don't know where you got that from. She didn't have a vest. Yes! Yes, you got it. Let me pull it up. Right here. I'll wait for you guys to process it, sink it in. Now, I bet you guys are wondering why I think this is beta. It's because Beta has a vest, and look at his appearance. It looks just like the figure of Beta. And the long hair and the mask of him, it looks just like Beta. Now, you guys are probably like, oh, he got bit and he got devoured by the horde and stabbed in both of his eyes. I thought the exact same thing. But the fact is, we didn't see him get bit. Never. Not once. But his mask was definitely torn. So here's my theory. Do not quote me on this. Okay? I have two possible theories, and they point to this being 100% beta. I have two possible theories. Number one, Beta did not get eaten, and he somehow, some way, was able to get through the horde with his whisperer tactics and escape, and maybe found his way here. And number two, like with other characters we've seen, very small ones, he could have possibly been bit at least one time, and we're going to see him as a cameo as a walker. Walker Beta. That's my theory. Because look at his hair. Look at his vest. This literally, if you look up Beta, he looks exactly like him. Yes, and I get what you guys mean. He is blind. He is blind. But I feel like with the blind, okay, let me change the situation for you. Let me change the situation for you. He was able to, number one, he either turned into a walker and he's blind Walker Beta, and number two, he is somehow, some way alive and either blind still, or somehow he was surgically given new eyes by the CRM or a freaking Commonwealth or someone or something like that. It's a very far-fetched theory, but look at him. It literally has his vest and his long hair. It looks exactly like Beta. Look at him. Look at the facts. And I've seen in the preview, people have said the exact same thing. Look at videos of the preview. People have literally said that that looks like Beta. I think that Michonne definitely knew Beta, but Rick in the show, he doesn't know about the Whisperers at all. So, him finally knowing about the Whisperers with Beta, whether he's blind, he can see, or a walker, or a blind walker, it doesn't matter. Learning about the Whisperers from one dude, that would be intense. So, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good theory? But why would it? King, I can agree, but so much of me wants to disagree with you because it looks exactly like Beta. Like, look at him. How can you look at that and then look at Beta? Look at a picture of Beta. It literally looks exactly like him. So it either has to be a hallucination or Beta is back. Blind Walker, Walker, or alive, or blind alive, it doesn't matter. I seriously think that that is Beta. I bet you guys didn't even process that before I said it. I'm glad that I told you guys because I don't think enough people noticed that because it seriously looks like him. I don't care if he's a walker or not. I just want to see if that's actually Beta. I want it to be. I respect your opinion, don't get me wrong. I just really want it to be Beta. The minute that I saw that figure, I knew that it looked exactly like him. He was still enveloped with like being part of the Whisperers for a long time, so he very well could have escaped. But if he is a walker and this is Walker Beta, then I'd be down for that. I think I have an idea. I've got it. How about I make you guys a deal? I'll put a community post after I upload the next part of Dale's story tomorrow morning, getting into the afternoon. I'll make a community post and it will be a poll saying, like, do you guys think this is Beta? And I'll put a picture side by side. And those of you, like, depending if you comment or not, those of you who say that it is Beta, it's just an agreement. But those of you who disagree, and then when the episode drops, if it is Beta, then we just leave it as is. But if it's not Beta, every person who says that it's not Beta before the next episode drops, you will get a shout out and you get to recommend 5 ideas for the channel. I feel like that's a pretty fair deal. But you'd, of course, have to comment so I know who the frick is. Like, you don't have to comment before the episode drops. You can just vote. But I'm saying for when the episode does drop and whatever happens then, you guys can comment like, hey, I'm the one who said it's not Beta. And then we do it from there. You get what I mean? So I think it's a fair deal because this is big. Beta is a huge character. Although a lot of people would think the opposite. Yeah, I can agree with you on a fault, King Devon. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I just think that it's a fair deal because it looks exactly like him. Okay, that's enough of me talking about Beta. I'll make the community post tomorrow. I'll make the poll tomorrow. But we're going to talk about the rest of the opinions on the next episode, or at least I will, since you guys asked. Michonne said at the end of the trailer, this can't end with us going home. What do you guys think she meant by that? Do you think that they're going to fight the CRM and then go home? Or do you guys think that they're going to somehow sacrifice themselves or get the CRM to take them home by force? Or like maybe Morgan rescue them and they go home that way. What do you guys think she meant by that? After convincing Rick like that? That's logical, but that would pretty much backtrack everything that she stood for, trying to get him to finally like be part of their family again and like convince him finally. I can understand what you're saying, but it's like an iffy for me. It's all right. I deal with Farfetched on the channel. I mean, look at my What If Carl Joined Negan. Yeah, I get it. I zoned out for a second. But why would she say that then? Besides maybe them being in direct danger. It did show a car chase, so I think this is the episode where they're finally going to fight Jadis. It was shown in the trailers. And she was driving a truck, so I think they're finally going to fight. No, I don't. I'm not going to get anything personal besides Discord. But I'll keep making theories. I love theories. I mean, I do too. That's what we're about here, and that's what the community post next is going to be by tomorrow. What does everyone else think? My theory is Walker Beta might be possible, or Beta himself. I meant like, what do you guys? Oh, I meant I was gonna pause on the Beta discussion. I was gonna see what you and everyone else meant, Sophia, by what Michonne said. Like what she said whenever she said, what this can't end with us going home. Like, what do you think she meant by that? Well, thank you, Sebastian Whitfield. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. That is a good question. It's just the only reason I say that, Toast Gaming, is because he looks he looks exactly like Beta. Like literally, if you pull up a picture of Beta, he looks exactly like him. But we're gonna stop with the discussion with him. Let's get into everything else. We'll talk about that more when I bring up the community post tomorrow. A war with the CRM? Yeah, that's very possible. A boat made out of walker parts? Maybe they transferred the body for testing? That could be possible too. No, the setting of the show is still in the US. Beta would only have to go further up north. Yeah. A boat made out of walker parts. I can't imagine how that would look. This is set in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is north of Virginia. Getting a tiny bit tired. I didn't think the after stream would last this long, but hey, we're talking about a lot, especially the fact of possibility of Beta, which is probably the biggest part of this episode. A boat pulled by walkers. Beta would need a boat to get there. We strap a kid in front. God dang. This is pretty dark. And have the walkers pull it while chasing it. God dang. That's a pretty freaking twisted boat. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. All right, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, who do you think the cabin that they go to belongs to? Because I know they're already going to get into the fight with Jadis with the truck and everything, because it was shown in the trailers and it was shown in this episode's trailer that's coming up. But who do you think the cabin belongs to? Do you think it belongs to Beta, like I'm saying? Because it shows him, like this walker looking a lot like Beta. Do you think it belongs to him, Morgan and Mo, or do you think it belongs to Althea and Isabella? Because it shows Rick wrestling with some person, a real person. So who do you think that is? Do you think it's Althea and Isabella, Beta, or do you think it belongs to Morgan and Mo? What? First of all, not Jim. Second of all, Kate McGrath. Good grief. I think it could be Al and Isabella. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that too. And personally, not seeing them since season 6 of Fear, the ones who live, being that Isabella was part of the CRM, that would be the best way to bring them back. Oh, I almost forgot. There's one character left that could possibly have that cabin. Heath. Maybe he got away. Maybe he's a rebel of the CRM and he got away. I forgot about that. I was going to say that, but I forgot that could be a very interesting theory. You know what I'm saying? I'd like Dwight. No, it wouldn't be Dwight or Sherry, because they were going to go back to the sanctuary to rebuild it into something that their old, deceased son Finch would have wanted. So bringing them to the ones who live, I feel like Dead City is the best way to bring them back. Fear wouldn't make the ones who live wouldn't make sense. Okay. No, Ed literally got his face freaking chopped into nothingness by Carol, so there's no way he could be back. Dwight would work for Daryl Dixon better? Okay. Dwight would fit better in Dead City because of Negan? Yeah. Ed climbed under a dumpster. Good grief. Yeah. No. Oh, jeez. Is there anything else I need to go over? I think that's everything. I've gone over opinions of the episode. I've gone over my opinions, at least everything. I think for the trailer, and especially the fact that this could be Beta as a walker, blind or whatever, or it could be Beta brought back as either still blind or surgically put in eyes. But other than that, I think I brought up everything. So we're going to call it here. It is pretty late in the freaking night. We brought a lot of people in the fold to talk about this and everything, even a few new people. And with that, I'm going to pretty much call it here. Now remember, I'm going to be putting up a community post after the new episode of Dale surviving tomorrow morning, 12 p.m. at the latest. So around lunchtime. So look forward to that. And the community post will be a poll for Beta possibly coming back as a walker or whatever. And so the poll will be revolved around if it's Beta as a walker, human, or whatever. And you guys will have until the next episode, basically episode 5 of The Ones Who Live comes out. And if you guys vote yes and the poll wins, it doesn't even matter if the poll wins yes or no. It matters if it actually happens in the show. I kind of rhymed there. It matters if it happens in the show. And if it does happen, then we just leave it as is. But if it doesn't happen, everyone who commented no and voted no on the poll, they will get a shout out and they will get to recommend 5 ideas for the channel. So that's basically what the deal is. I've gone over everything pretty much. I will see you guys tomorrow for the next episode of Dale. And I will see you guys also for the community post poll. And I pretty much covered it all. We had a pretty decent day, I'd have to say, with the short and the before and after stream. Overall, pretty all right day, I'd have to say. Later than with the stream than I thought it would be, but yeah, we did a lot, especially with this cool theory of mine. I didn't think I thought more of you would pick up on that, but that's not me insulting you guys. That's just me thinking that you guys would see that or not. But anyways, I pretty much covered it all. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And thank you guys for joining in the after stream. I didn't think we'd have this many people at nighttime. But then again, we're all living in different places pretty much. So yeah. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night and everything like that. So I will see you guys tomorrow and have a good night.